Good morning, everyone. Very warm welcome all the way here in Johannesburg, South Africa. We are very pleased to have everyone join us for today's session. I know we just had a public holiday in SA. Just to get us started and bring some energy into the room, please drop a quick message in the chat and let us know where you're joining us from. Already I can see DRC. Welcome, welcome. It's always great for us to see the breadth of organizations and regions represented. Right, there it goes. We've got Botswana. Very warm welcome. Zambia, Lusaka is also representing. Stellenbosch, our home base, Cape Town, Western Cape. Oh, lovely. We've got Mauritius. Welcome, Namibia. Good morning, morning. I see my Joburg people are coming with our weather. Morning, everyone. Ghana, lovely to have you in the room. Sekunda Pumalanga. Hi, Ms. Mashiko. East London, welcome, welcome. Oh, we've got Tanzania in the room. Lovely. Nicholas, you're from Botswana. Lovely to have you here.
Karabo Mitleo from Botswana.
Hi, Karabo. Lovely to meet you. Yeah, no, Joburg is freezing, guys. You can see from this polo neck. Yeah, no, we're going through it. Limpopo is also well represented. Hi, everyone. I've got P.E. Bebeja. I'm happy that I can say that properly now. Western Cape in the house. Welcome, everyone.
Thank you very much. How are you, everyone?
Morning. We're just going to let more people come into the room, and we'll start shortly after that. Van der Bijl Park, welcome. Got a lot from the province of Limpopo. Very well represented. Thank you for joining us. I'm surprised so many of us are not on leave this week. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, no, you can see who the workhorses are. We're all here. James from Western Cape, welcome.
Good morning.
Morning, everyone. Very warm welcome. Tharisha, where are your Durbanites today? They're still recovering from comrades.
Probably, and the weather is really good here, and they probably might be at the beach. So.
Yeah, no, we'll send recordings. We'll send recordings to everyone. Namibia, welcome as well. All right. I think we've got quite a few people in the room. I think we can start. Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our risk management program information session. My name is Rifi Luepeo, and I'm the channel director for digital learning or online.
Am I the only one who can't hear you, Rifilwe?
I wanted to ask the same question.
I think we lost her.
Rifilwe?
Communication.
I think she may be having some technical difficulties, everyone. Apologies. Tharisha, would you be open to just taking over until she comes back?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So, good morning, everybody. A very warm and hearty welcome to each and every one of you. So, on just behalf of Rifilwe, I just want to say hello And Rafilwa is our Channel Director for Digital Learning at Stellenbosch Business School Executive Development. And I'm Tharisha. I'm the Proposal and Design Specialist, and we have Vanessa Thilwell on the call that will take you through the risk management content specifically a bit later. So in today's session, it's designed to give you a clearer understanding of the program, the IRMSA endorsement, and how this learning actually translates into real organizational capability. So we know time is valuable, so let's move straight into what we'll be covering in today's session. So just a bit of housekeeping. Please keep your microphones muted throughout the session, and feel free to use the chat function to share your questions or comments as we go along. So we'll respond in the chat where it is possible, or we could address those questions in the Q&A at the end. Okay, so let me briefly walk you through what to expect. We'll start off with a short overview of SPS Ed and our online learning approach. And I'll unpack a bit more about the IRMSA endorsement and what it means for you and your organization. Vanessa will explore the growing importance of risk management, followed by myself, Tharisha, that will take you through the program structure and learning journey. Then I'll hand over to Rafilwa to return the discussion around the how organizational implementation can be done, and we'll close out with a Q&A at the end. So just a reminder to engage with us throughout the session by placing questions into the chat. Our team is on standby to answer the program, so any program-related questions. Alternatively, we will answer questions in the Q&A at the end. Okay, so just who is Stellenbosch Business School Executive Development? SPS Ed is the executive education or short course arm of Stellenbosch Business School, part of Stellenbosch University. So we're one of Africa's leading academic institutions. So while the business school delivers postgraduate degrees and diplomas, SPS Ed focuses on leadership and management development, short courses for working professionals, and customized programs for organizations. So what actually distinguishes us is our academic quality, our strong legacy, and a focus on practical high-impact learning. So our programs are designed not just to transfer knowledge, but to drive measurable business outcomes. So we deliver learning that is actually relevant, rigorous, and immediately applicable. So at SBSS, we recognize that learning must fit into demanding professionals' schedules. That's why we offer a range of learning modalities, including blended, remote, face-to-face, online, and hybrid learning, allowing us to meet diverse business needs across industries, geographies, and workforce structures. And today, our focus is specifically on the online risk management program. So online learning at SPSS is designed to remove the barriers of time, location, while still effectively targeting specific developmental needs across organizations. It is ideal for busy executives, operational teams, frontline staff, traveling professionals, remote teams, and digitally native learners as well. So participants typically commit around 5 to 7 hours per week. Importantly, this is not just isolated learning. Our programs are designed to remain highly engaging, incorporating live faculty webinars and interactive discussion forums as well. So this ensures that flexibility is balanced with engagement and academic integrity, combining convenience and structure and independence with support. So behind this experience is a dedicated digital channel team, from the program design and business development to the delivery and support. This team ensures that your learning is seamless and aligned to your objectives as well. Collectively, our focus is on one thing: building digital learning experiences that translate into real capability within organizations. So, to deepen today's conversation, we are joined by Vanessa Thilwell. Vanessa is the co-designer and faculty member of this program and the owner of VT Risk Consulting. She also serves as IRMSA's technical risk manager, placing her at the forefront of how risk is applied in organizations. Her expertise spans business continuity, sustainability, and knowledge management. And she contributes to the profession through her role on the IRMSA's board exam development panel as well. So the perspective you'll hear today is grounded in real industry practice and aligned to current professional standards. And this is particularly relevant when we consider the program itself, because it's not only designed and delivered by experts, but also formally endorsed by IRMSA. So in the next slide, I'll unpack what the endorsement means and why it actually matters. So this course is endorsed by the Institution of Risk Management South Africa, also known as IRMSA. IRMSA is the professional body for risk management in South Africa, formally recognized by the South African Qualification Authority, called SAQA, as the authoritative voice for professionals. It is dedicated to advancing the risk management discipline through rigorous standards, professional development, education, training, and the awarding of recognized designations. Endorsements by IRMSA is a formal quality assurance process. Tertiary institutions such as SBS Ed undergo IRMSA's structured review to confirm that the course content, the delivery, the learning outcomes aligns with the institution's high professional standards. So this ensures that the program reflects current industry, best practice, relevance, and excellence, with course material reviewed by experts within the professional body itself. So what the IRMSA endorsement really means is that for this course, it confirms that Stellenbosch Business School Executive Development is a 7-week online self-paced risk management program, has been independently validated by South Africa's leading risk management professional body. The curriculum meets IRMSA's criteria for quality, relevance, and alignment with professional expectations, giving the program enhanced credibility, authority, and distinction. For the individual, you gain professional endorsed, industry-recognized skills in contemporary risk management that carry the prestige IRMSA endorsement requirements. Completion strengthens your professional profile and provides an important avenue of skills development to ensure the currency of your knowledge, skills, and technical competence as well. And for your organization, if you invest with the confidence in training that has been scrutinized and endorsed by IRMSA, your team returns equipped with skills that meet the professional body's benchmarks, directly supporting stronger risk governance and organizational resilience as well. The endorsement also provides independent assurance that the program delivers measurable professional value. And with that said, I'm going to hand over to our risk management expert, Vanessa Thirlwell, to take us through navigating risk in a complex world. Over to you, Vanessa.
Thank you, Tharisha. Okay, good to see such a wide spread of countries represented here. It's fantastic. Yeah, so I just want to give a little bit of flavor of risk management, and really we can start. We can go to the next slide. Really just to sort of whet your appetite, some of the topics we'll be covering in the course, and really the importance of it to our organizations. We base, as Tharisha mentioned, it's aligned with best practice. It's aligned with the IRMSA's curriculum for the CRM practitioner and professionals. And anyway, so we really just want to emphasize the importance of risk management, and you're obviously all here because you have an interest in learning a bit more about risk management. So the value of it, why we need to have risk management in our organizations, it gives us much more confidence with making decisions. We're more informed. We understand our organization better. We understand our strengths, our weaknesses, and so on. It gives us a lot more confidence in achieving our objectives because we're understanding the threats, the strengths, the weaknesses, etc. It then also helps us to protect the value in our organization because we're minimizing those losses, but we're then also able to create the value. And that's very much in terms of achieving our opportunities in a much more sort of short time frame within our project plans, within our budgets, and really achieving the positive benefit from those opportunities. Our stakeholders are a lot more confident in us. They see our responsible risk taking, they see our proactive management of issues that are arising, and it just instills them with confidence that they're not necessarily feeling that we're not being a very good corporate or economic citizen. We're much more efficient in focusing on risks and controls. We much more prioritized. We know exactly what the key areas are, what are the priorities, our actions, our attention, where we can allocate resources, where we allocate people, what is the most important aspects of our organization that we need to be addressing to be able to be more resilient. Financial management, our organizational performance and resilience, all of that forming part of the efficiency, and then not being taken by surprise. We're seeing massive change globally within our own continents and countries. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of change. There's if it's from weather or political or economic, there's a lot of uncertainty. And if we're understanding our organizations and the risks we face, we're not taken by surprise when these issues do arise. We're then also much more agile. We can think quicker, we can move quicker, we can adapt, we can adjust, and we can take the new circumstances that are presenting themselves and actually seize the strategic opportunities that arise. And then, as I've touched on already, that proactive culture. We're not waiting for things to happen. We are being much more proactive and targeted and deliberate in achieving our objectives. So we can change slides there. But so part of understanding our risks, understanding the environment in which we operate it's incredibly important to understand both the macro environment as well as our own micro environment. So when we start to look at the macro environment, we've got a huge wealth of resources that we can utilize to understand what out there can have an impact on us. Understanding the relationship with our external environment, be it business, social, political, cultural, what's happening in the Middle East and Asia, how can that affect us in terms of fuel prices, supply chains, and so on. When our own countries go into an election cycle, how can that have an impact on us? All of that macro environment gives us a view of those external strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And we've got many different contextual setting tools like your pestle and steep, etc. So all of that helps us to understand that macro environment and then how that fits with our institution and what we're trying to achieve. And it's incredibly important that we include or understand those external threats and opportunities when we're doing our strategic planning, understanding our risks, so that we know what out there can have an impact on us. So looking globally first and bringing it closer to home, what we're seeing happening in the Middle East and Asia, Russia, Ukraine, that's carrying on for years now. Different global politics, the whole sort of geopolitical context is incredibly volatile at the moment and creating a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear as well. From an environmental perspective, the ongoing discussion and trying to understand global warming and climate change, and We're seeing in the area where I live in the Western Cape with the massive flooding that we've just had, but then we have other regions that are in drought. So all the sort of extreme weather that's happening, we see what's in the Eastern Cape as well, that's been significantly affected with flooding as well. The fuel prices, availability, how that's affecting all of our supply chains. Prices are all going up. We're seeing that increase in cost, and a lot of it is related to the fuel prices. And then a lot of organizations trying to get themselves ready for having contingencies in place to mitigate the lack of fuel availability. There's increasing costs and the cost of living crisis, and we see that incredible disparity across the globe in standards of living. Global governance. Whether you're a Trump supporter or not, there's a lot of questionable governance in a lot of different regions that can have an impact both globally and nationally. And then just the long-term problem of scarcity of resources, be it minerals, agriculture, water, which I personally don't think is highlighted enough as a risk. So it's really just understanding that sort of the global effects that can have an impact on us. We can't just be in isolation in our particular countries. As I mentioned, there's a lot of different resources, and you can scan that QR code to get the link for the World Economic Forum Global Risk Report. This is a very, very valuable report. It gives a lot of detail, a lot of context. It's developed from a whole lot of survey data that is across the world. And just some of the issues that are raised in the World Economic Forum report is the geo-economic confrontation, our value systems that are at war, and this sort of conflict in values and governance, economic issues, our infrastructure that's failing, failure, as well as just sort of breakdown and issues that we're facing from an infrastructure perspective, be it power, water, roads, rail, etc. Artificial intelligence is always a very big theme in the risk report. Geopolitical shocks and significant events like we've been seeing in the Middle East. Technological change and how quickly things are changing, and our need to remain up to date. Climate instability, social strife, and a lot of social issues that can have economic effects. State-based conflict, and then this lack of multilateralism, that countries are not working together as we necessarily could be. But the World Economic Forum report always tries to end with hope and the opportunities that can present themselves to actually deal with these risks. So each year in the World Economic Forum risk report, they deliver a set of risks from a short-term 2-year perspective as well as a 10-year perspective. And it's quite interesting to see how they changed. Last year was misinformation and disinformation as the top risk, but we've now got geo-economic confrontation as the top there. And the report is developed sort of between September and December every year and published in January. So this geo-economic confrontation was even before the war in the Middle East happened. We then see further down societal polarization, weather, state-based armed conflict, and so on. And then our long-term view, interestingly enough, is a lot more environmental in nature. So the extreme weather events, biodiversity loss, changes to the Earth's weather systems, and misinformation there as only at number 4. So very worthwhile. It's freely available. You can download it off the World Economic Forum website, and it is a very, very useful resource to use. So bringing things closer to home, within, as we see, we've got DRC, we've got Eswatini, we've got Namibia, we've got all sorts of different countries represented here. So we can go to the next slide, but starting to just bring it closer to home. And a lot of you will even if you're not within the South African or Southern African region, you probably are dealing with these issues as well. The ongoing corruption and lack of ethics, the fraud, etc., our collapse of education, our infrastructure issues, water, significant unemployment. You know, we celebrated Youth Day in South Africa yesterday, but I was reading an article that was just, what do the youth have to actually celebrate at the moment because of the significant unemployment that they are actually facing. Gender-based violence, are massively escalating food and living costs, and then protest action, just to name a few. And we need to think about these aspects and how they can have an impact on our organizations and what we can do to be proactive in managing them. Another resource, we've got the Alliance Risk Barometer that gives, it's also country-based, so you can actually look for it for your own country or region. But quite an interesting different view, cyber incidents being at the top there, business interruption, artificial intelligence, natural catastrophes, and so on. So having a look at these different reports that can then assist you with understanding that macro context that you have. And then our baby, our IRMSA risk report that comes out every year. We are in design phase of the 2026 report, so we are very excited. It's being launched in Joburg on the 8th of July and Durban on the 9th of July, and we've got a whole roadshow of the launch, and it's very, very exciting. So I've been eating and sleeping and living risk reports at the moment. But again, giving you another resource, it gives a view. We've got a Southern African focus going forward, but also having some international perspectives as well. So here you can see similar issues, political instability, and then the darker color gives the opportunity side. So we need cohesive politics to address the political instability. Having a failed state, we need to build a more capable state. Breakdown in the rule of law, we need to build a credible rule of law. Failed public infrastructure, insufficient human capital, other risks, disruptive technologies, and the importance of using our creative technologies to our benefit, economic regression and needing to have a competitive economy, inequality, social fragmentation, and needing to have a secure society and the importance there. And that's everything from food, education, healthcare, etc. Extreme weather events and enabling this climate resilience and adaptation. And then the last risk was the long-term malnutrition and developmental stunting and the impact that has on our education, our children, that learning and growth, and just the importance there. So the risk report is also, it's on the IRMSA website. I see the link is in the chat. Have a look, and then after the 9th of July, 8th of July, the latest risk report will be launched as well. So very good resource as well. And then we need to now bring it to internal. What within our organizations is now important and has an impact on our risks? Have we got performance issues? Are we currently undergoing restructuring? What is our culture? What are our resource capabilities, our people, our systems, our internal strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? And then what are our strategic plans to overcome these SWOT factors and being able to improve as an organization, being more proactive, being more adaptable and resilient? And that's where risk management just helps us to overcome that and give us the structures to achieve that more proactive sort of posture in managing our risks. So then as risk managers, and if you register for the course, we go into a lot more detail with risk management and our activities and our responsibilities and what actually needs to be, what makes up risk management, within our organizations. And as a risk manager, we need to understand our organization. What is our strategy? What are we trying to achieve? Again, that SWOT or PESTLE and those tools, which we'll unpack more in the course as well. Understanding who our stakeholders are. What impact can they have on us? But what impact can we have on them? That could also lead to risks, but then can also lead to the opportunities for solutions and working together. Identifying and assessing your existing and emerging risks, embedding risk management in our organization as well. We have a lot of delegates that join this course that are just trying to learn a bit more about risk management, not necessarily actually establishing risk management, but they need to know a bit more as part of their role. So it's not just about being a risk manager, it's about using risk management across your existing roles as well. Embedding risk management in our organizations and becoming adaptable, resilient, and just really that it's part of how we actually operate. And then just some challenges that we give you some tools and some guidance in the course on how to implement risk management and overcome some of these challenges. And some of you might already have had experience with this, like the lack of commitment and buy-in, and how that to get leadership to understand the importance of risk management, but then to also get the rest of the layers in our organization to appreciate it. If our roles and responsibilities are not defined enough, if we're not communicating with our stakeholders adequately enough, that we don't understand their needs, they don't necessarily understand our needs, and how we're all needing to actually work cohesively together. Lack of collaboration with our stakeholders and that working together. And then ticking the box. Only doing risk management for compliance purposes is one of the biggest issues that we see in the industry. And that if internal auditors said we have to do a risk assessment, then we'll do the risk assessment. But we need to have it ingrained and really adding value. And then also a lack of continuous improvement. We really need to make sure that we are improving our risk processes, our maturity, and making sure that it is embedded in our organizations. So I think that's it from me. So I'm going to have to hand back to Tharisha. And yeah, I just really encourage you, and it's a great learning, and risk management as a discipline is just a fantastic, some of us call it the art of risk management, because it's got so much to it. So yeah, back to you, Tharisha.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. It's always great listening to your valuable insights. So everybody, I'll be taking you through the overview of the program itself now, the nuts and the bolts of it. So in an ever-evolving and unpredictable business landscape, managing risk is just no longer about a compliance exercise. It's a critical leadership capability. So the question is no longer if risk will arise, but how you prepare for it and how you prepare to respond to it. So our risk management program is aligned to an NQF level 7. So it is designed to equip you with the knowledge, the skills, and the practical tools to confidently identify, assess, mitigate, and monitor risk across your team and organization. So let's be honest, being petulant about risk or ignoring it, it doesn't make it disappear. It just makes it far more costly a bit later. So beyond the fundamentals, this program enables you to contribute meaningfully to your organization's overall risk management strategy, using that risk, ensuring that the risk is approached systematically and proactively. It also helps you to build the right constructs that will inform those decisions, so you're not relying on guesswork when it matters most. So you'll be exposed to global best practices that you will augment what you've learned, helping you make informed decisions, strengthen organizational resilience, and safeguard long-term success. So the program runs over 7 weeks with a recommended commitment to approximately 5 to 7 hours a week, making it manageable alongside professional responsibilities. So you'll have access to a live faculty webinar, there are 2, giving you the opportunity to engage, ask questions, and deepen your understanding. So whether you're looking to strengthen your current role or step up into a more strategic decision-making, this program gives you that confidence not to just manage risk, but to lead through it. So what can you expect to walk away from this program? So at a high level, you'll build a solid foundation in risk management. You'll understand what it is, why it matters most, and the role it plays in driving organizational success. From there, we'll move beyond the theory into a practical application where you'll evaluate key principles, governance requirements, and apply structured risk management frameworks to both strategic and operational contexts. So you'll work with globally recognized standards like the ISO 31000, giving you a practical, real-world approach to identifying, analyzing, treating, and monitoring risk. So you're not just learning concepts, but you're applying those best practices into a practical application at work as well. Importantly, the program equips you to report on risk effectively, developing a roadmap to improve risk maturity and, most critically, integrate risk management into the organization as a business enabler to build resilience. In essence, this isn't just about managing risk, as I've mentioned. It's about using it as a tool to make better decisions, strengthen your organization, and stay ahead of an increasingly complex environment. So the program is structured as a progressive journey, starting with an introduction to risk management, and then building into developing risk strategies and understanding key processes aligned to the ISO 31000. From there, we'll be moving into reporting, monitoring, and improving risk practices, followed by a strong focus on effective implementation and integration, ultimately leading into building a resilient organization. And then we end off with a practical assignment where you'll conduct a risk assessment on your organization. Or if you are not part of an organization, you may want to select one that is provided with from either Vanessa or myself, or one that is publicly available to you as well. I just want to see the application of what you've learned. So who is this program for? Quite simply, anyone who wants to manage their risks, because whether you realize it or not, we all deal with risk in every single day. More specifically, this program is highly relevant for those pursuing a career in risk management, as well as newly appointed risk managers or risk champions who are stepping into the space and need a solid foundation. It is equally valuable for established risk managers and risk officers looking to sharpen their approach and stay aligned with best practices. And importantly, it's also designed for leaders who oversee risk management, giving you the tools to guide your teams more effectively and make informed, proactive decisions. So whether you're just starting out, deepening your expertise, or leading from the top, this program it does equip you with tools to manage risk more confidently and with purpose. So this is the journey overview, which shows how participants will traverse from one module to the next. We will have an orientation session, which is approximately an hour long, to help participants understand the expectations of the program, and we'll go through the functionalities of our learning portal called Moodle. You'll also see that each module is a week long. We start on a Tuesday and we end on a Monday, and we iteratively release the module at the beginning of that week. Participants will have the week and weekend to complete each module before the next one is released. So when thinking about risk management, you may think of it as being so heavy and rich with content, but we've decided to design it in such a way that it is as practical as possible, and it's hugely relevant and applicable to industry in today's rapidly evolving and volatile landscape. So you won't need to go through this entire 7 weeks just learning theory. We've matched each and every module with reflections, implementation activities, discussion topics or forums, quizzes, and even showcasing an insightful interview that was recorded as well. The program is strongly hinged around the ISO 31000, which is a global risk management guide that provides a framework, principles, and processes for managing risk. So for 2026, we've had one intake already has taken place, and we have the next intake, the second intake, starting on the 14th of July and ending on the 1st of September. Applications are opened, and it will close the Friday of that start date. I'm now going to hand over to Rafielware that will take you through the solutions for your organization. Over to you, Raf.
Thank you so much. And what amazing risk mitigation application from the team. Thank you very much, Tharisha, as I battle with my own electricity issues. But just moving on to solutions for organizations. So at SBS Ed, we understand that learning and development teams are not just delivering training, but they are enabling capability across the organization. And in the context of risk management, this becomes even more critical. Right, so what you're seeing on the screen is essentially that we cater to your organization's needs through two distinct ways. Our ready-made solutions, such as the risk management program that Tharisha has just gone through, provides a structured, proven way to build foundational risk capability across teams quickly as well as at scale. Right, and then on the right-hand side, or my right-hand side, our customized solutions take this just a step further. So here we create, or we co-create, a learning journey aligned to your organization's specific risk landscape. So whether that's governance, operational risk, compliance, or strategic risk, that is where we would cover all of those factors and design that for you. So this ensures that the learning is not only relevant, but directly applicable within your immediate environment. So ultimately, both pathways are designed to strengthen risk maturity, improve decision-making, and build organizational resilience. Right, in terms of how we bring customized solutions to life, we normally begin with a core program such as risk management, and this is to ensure academic rigor as well as NQF alignment. And from there, we can add or replace up to 3 modules. We sometimes take it up to 4. We take into consideration the duration of the program as well. And this is obviously to reflect your organizational priorities based on identified risk gaps at strategic, operational, or even at a functional level. We then move on to co-create a structured learning pathway, ensuring that the journey is cohesive as well as developmental. And then where required, we incorporate a hybrid model, combining online learning with live sessions or workshops to strengthen application if that is a need that is required by your organization. So the result would be a solution that is academically sound and tailored to your organizational reality. Right, so just to bring this example to life in a practical manner, let's say you are an L&D manager and your team approaches us and you want the risk management program as the core, but you need to translate it into real business impact. Right, so we begin with the risk management foundation as the core, which is what you see on your left in maroon, and all of those modules are the original risk management modules. But then the L&D team then reverts back to us with a specific gap when it comes to risk management within the organization, and which is probably something along the lines of the teams understand risk conceptually, but they struggle to translate it into strategy or embed it into leadership decision-making or apply it consistently across functions. And our response to this gap would be then to build around the risk management core or the core modules using key modules selected from our NQF aligned program pool by identifying modules that resonate with the business challenge, which is what is demonstrated on the right of the screen. We have highlighted on there designing leading edge strategies, which comes from one of our other programs to align risk to business priorities. We've also outlined leadership in a complex world to embed risk across teams and navigate complexity and decision making. And we've then also, as a third option, highlighted manage project execution to ensure risk is actively managed in delivery as well as in operations. So now the program shifts and it's no longer just about understanding risk. It becomes about using risk to inform strategy, strengthen leadership, as well as drive execution. Right, so I'll demonstrate in the next slide what that learning journey would look like. Right, and as you can see on the screen, with the inclusion of those 3 modules that we've highlighted, we now have a 9-module risk strategy program. Right, and the learning journey is intentionally sequenced to feel integrated as well as developmental. So not simply customized, but purposefully designed to build progressive risk capability across the organization. So where applied engagement is required, we incorporate a minimum of 1 faculty-led face-to-face workshop. It can also be done remotely, depending on your geographics, which can be enhanced through gamifications or simulations. And this could create a hybrid model that strengthens practical risk application, decision-making, as well as cross-functional alignment. So the result is a customized risk strategy program, a learning journey that maintains the academic integrity while being strategically aligned to the organization's risk maturity, resilience, as well as overall business performance objectives. Right? Should you be an L&D and you're in the room, or should you be working in the organization and you want to take this to your organization, the process that you would follow would be to reach out directly to me. My email address is on the screen. I'm sure somebody will drop it in the chat to initiate the customization process. And then we'll conduct a scoping session with your team as well as our team in the room, and we'll try to understand your strategic priorities, challenges, as well as your learning objectives. We'll then identify the right combination of core and additional modules, align the program design to your organizational strategy, and then we'd present the proposed structure as well as a commercial agreement for your approval. And then obviously once we're all on the same page, we would then launch the program upon sign off. All right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of our session. So through today's session, we've seen how risk management is evolving and how organizations are moving beyond compliance to using risk as a strategic enabler. So at SBSED, we are committed to delivering learning solutions that are accessible, relevant, as well as tailored to your needs. So whether through our portfolio of short courses, the ready-made, or the customized programs or hybrid learning journeys. Right, so our focus is not just to understand risk, but enabling you and your organization to apply it effectively and strengthen decision-making, resilience, as well as performance. So now that you've heard from us, we would love to hear from you. We're going to open the floor for questions. You've listened to us speak throughout the session. Please raise your hand, unmute yourself, ask your question. Alternatively, you can drop it in the chat and we can just read it out loud and we can go through answering some of those. But the preferred manner would be please unmute yourself so we can hear from you. I see we've got Tady. Just correct me if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. You can unmute.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
Well, and yourself?
I am good. We lost you, but you come back. Welcome back.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be back.
Okay, cool. I'm calling you from DRC. I wanted to find out, is you guys having a payment plan? Because for myself, yes, I'm working and I'm also a student. Then I want to do this course, and then I will have issue with payment full fees, like you say 18,000 rand, something like that. So I wanted to ask, is there a possibility to break the fees in 2 branches, something like that? And my second question was, as somebody did put it on the chat. Are we going to have a certificate after the course? Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, John. So let me start with the payment plan question. So we currently have an agreement with Capitec Bank, which is South African based. So unfortunately for our counterparts in the rest of Africa, we don't currently have a payment plan. However, John, please do contact our info at so that we can assist you with probably a prepayment plan for the next intake when we do have it. There is a way that we can assist you. However, currently we don't have payment plan arrangements. The best that we can do for South African bound participants is please contact our partner, which is Capitec Bank. They can assist you with a study loan. So, John, please contact us via info at, and Geba or Dimakatso can assist you with probably a prepayment plan for the next intake. But currently our payment arrangements is payment upfront before you enter into the classroom. And then the second question was certificates. Yes, you do get a certificate of competence upon completion. It is a digital certificate. We do go into depth about how you get certified when we do the orientation session. It is a digital certificate. I've just mentioned that. However, if you do want a physical copy, you would have to inform our program manager, Dimakatso Tswane, upfront before the program begins that you would like a physical copy. I beg your pardon. So I hope I've answered your question, John. You're on mute. Okay, I'm going to take that as a yes. All right, we've got other hands up. Please correct me with my pronunciation. I've got Teye, who's got his hand up. If you can unmute yourself.
Yes, please. Yes, stay.
Yes, we can hear you, Teye. We can hear you.
Yes, please. I can hear you. I'm calling from Ghana.
Lovely
Yes, I
to
mean, basically, your response to the first question, if I get it right, does it mean that countries without capital bank, meaning it's very difficult for them to offer the program, be it the payment plan, as to how it will go? If you get me. I mean, I'm calling from Ghana, and then I need a payment plan because of what the man said. That's maybe a payment plan because of this and that. I can't pay all. So if I'm not in touch with Capital Bank, and currently we don't have Capital Bank in Ghana, so in that case, automatically I'll be out. And put it that I'll be out of the program. I can't join the program. And then if so, in what way will I be able to have a payment plan so that I can qualify or I can join the cohort this particular year?
So let me just understand your question, Taya. You are saying that you also require a payment plan, but you're from Ghana?
Yes.
All right. So Taya, as I think Talent has already answered the question in the chat, right? As we stand currently, our payment plans are upfront before the program begins, right? However, should you still be interested in doing the program, what we can arrange for you is a prepayment plan to ensure that by the next intake, you have made your payment upfront. But you do need to have a conversation with us offline just to make sure that we can arrange that properly. But other than that, our current payment arrangements are upfront before you begin the classroom, unfortunately. We are working on payment plans for South African as well as for our rest of Africa participants. However, at the moment, the payment plan is upfront, or the payment arrangements.
That's right. Again, I have another question. Now, my question has to do with, I mean, like something like a scholarship or discount. Is there those offers available, like those of a scholarship, maybe discount that they are available for?
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately not, Taya.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you very much. I think I've got Nicholas Moyo.
How are you? Good day, ma'am. How are you?
How are you?
I'm all right. Thank you for coming back. Anyway, my first question is about I come from Botswana, but I'm working in Tanzania for now. Now, I don't understand really if you are self sponsoring on this project or the company can sponsor you. Because I joined without notifying my company.
Nicholas, can you just explain your question? Are you self-sponsoring
I'm
or is
saying, am I going to be self-sponsoring the project, the program, because I joined this program without notifying the company?
So Nicholas, the program has not started already. So this is just an information session. The program does start on the 14th of July. And if you are self-sponsoring, you said you are a Botswana resident or you are in Tanzania.
Yes, I'm a Botswana citizen, but I'm working in Tanzania.
All right. So we do have a Botswana representative. Her name is One Golding. If you can just email the online at, I see that the email address is in the chat. Please email online at, and we will connect you with the Botswana representative to assist you.
All right, no problem.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. And the other thing which I wanted to find out, if I have to pay cash, it's difficult to send money from this end here. Of which I have to send money to my wife. My wife in Botswana has to transfer the money to Capitec Bank. So it's a challenge for me currently.
Okay. I would still suggest, can you please email us and then we can help you individually outside of the session. Yeah. So the lady that you called is Gibabetswe at online at, and then we can assist you offline.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
I see another hand. Kelvin, if you can unmute yourself, please.
Okay, madam?
Well, yourself.
Very well, thank you. Yeah, I'm Kelvin from Zambia. Yeah, I love one point that you had mentioned, where you mentioned of there's some that are very interested in doing risk management. I'm not a risk manager myself, I'm the human resource manager, but I'm really interested in doing this product. So now the part that I'm very much interested in, first, you had mentioned that if you want your entire team to be trained, you're able to order session that we can organize. So I had pinpointed that one so that to see how do you arrange that one? Are we supposed to pay upfront in order for us to have that session? We're supposed to train us, or you train the team so that they'll be able to understand how risk management is done? Because I'm dealing with an organization that has 4 risks. I'm into power plant. So most of the time I deal with electricity, high voltage. So there's a lot of risk in that. So now I'm trying to understand on that one. How do you arrange for those sessions?
So Calvin, can we do a scoping session? So normally what we do with organizations that want to train in groups, we would schedule a scoping session with yourself as well as whoever else it is that you want to bring into the room. And we would just unpack what your needs are as an organization. And we would take you through the customization process. And then in that same discussion, we can also talk about payment methods for the company itself, as well as how to put all of those things together. So if we can have taken note of your details, I think Kiba will reach out to you directly and we can set up perhaps another session with you just to unpack what your particular needs are for your organization, and we can tailor make that for you.
And then with regards to the payment, how is it going to be done? Are we going to have this session free and then after seeing the need and the challenges that are facing, then we're supposed to
Yeah. So the scoping session is just on teams. So it's just my team and your team. And then you'll let us know what your organization requires. And then from there, we will then start speaking commercials once we understand what your needs are for your organization.
Yeah, thank you. And then the last question, I hope I'm not taking a lot of time, the others that are trying to ask. Madam Vanessa had raised a point and then I'd followed the background of our, like she's a faculty manager, risk management and everything. So I was trying to understand one of the things that she has brought in, more especially when we're looking at the world in 2026 and beyond. So one of the things that stood out for me is the aspect of the crisis that we're dealing with, and then what mentioned of the global challenges, geo-economic aspects. So now looking at, I'll give an example of the very things that is happening in South Africa, where like migrants and everything, people fighting, they go back to wherever they're coming from. So now, in a similar situation as of such, how do you come in as people that have done risk management to ensure that you're able to, maybe let me say, sensitize on the matters of that? Because seeing those, I would really love to know, like, what is your take on that one? And by so doing, it will actually help us, even as organizations, to gain confidence in the people that are giving us the information that is able to help us to fight the risks that we're facing in management. I don't know if you've understood the question that I've brought out.
Vanessa?
Yeah, so thank you. It's really about, so a lot of that information that I gave is just understanding what is around us. We need to be aware of what is happening globally. There are a lot of different resources, as we touched on those. And it's really then just about internalizing it to your own organization, and it forms part of the process. So if you when you're on the course, there is, we go into the ISO 31000 process, and part of it, before we even get to identifying our risks, is understanding those contexts. So from an external perspective, like I spoke about with the global risks, as well as then our internal view of what risk environments do we have within our own organizations. So it's really just all part of the process, and then you need to, obviously would need to know which are the right resources to use, because there's a lot of information. You can start Googling or asking AI tools for all of the information, but we really need to make sure that we do have trusted sources that we are using. But it's just part of the risk assessment process.
Thank you very much, Vanessa. That's all that I wanted, and I look forward to receiving new people so to be able to sell best that we can. You can bring in my team, you bring your team, and then we see how best that we can bring a lot of people to help people to start. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you very much. I see another hand, Alphonse. If you can unmute yourself, please.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon now by 1 minute. Yes, I'm also in South Africa. I'm from Congo. And I think the gentleman wanted to know where you stand in this approach of Afrophobia and so on. Is a training provider so that he can trust you? Yeah, but my question is not there. What I wanted to know was how does the program distinguish itself from the traditional approach of just approaching the IRMSA and obtaining the certificate from their side? How does the program stand out? So basically, why is it important to follow this program and not really go with the institution approach? Yeah, and if you're gonna follow, if you go to this, how does the credit here or the training help us now in obtaining that other one, so that we can have the two certificates from the university and also from the institution? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, basically the institute doesn't offer anything similar to this. Okay, when we built this course, it was aligned with the curriculum that IRMSA uses for their board exam, but they don't have content like this. There's other
We lost Vanessa. Am I wrong? Or just managed
This is an actual qualification. IRMSA's training that they offer are 1 day, 2 day, even
Vanessa?
shorter courses.
Vanessa, sorry about that. You just went offline just for a few seconds there.
Am I back?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening to you. You're back.
So, the gremlins are still on public holiday. So I'm not sure what got missed there, but so IRMSA has got 1 day, 2 day training courses, but then other tertiary institutions have got longer qualifications for risk management, whereas this is a shorter course that is more than what IRMSA offers from a training perspective. But there's still, if you were to go the certification routes with IRMSA, we can talk more, but that gives, you still have to have an element of study that would prepare you for those exams.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Alphonse. I'm just looking at the time. Can we take one more question? And then I think it would be wise for us to email all the other questions that you might have, whether it be about the program itself, more context on risk management. We would suggest to do the program if you want more context on risk management, or anything application or payment related. I've got only one hand up there. We'll take a question from Teddy John, and then we will wrap up the session. And then yeah, we'll take the rest of the questions in our inbox. Teddy, you're unmuted.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I wanted to find out about the payment. Are you guys having an option on your website to pay online by putting the bank, the card details on it?
Yes, we do have an online payment option.
Okay, thank you so
So
much.
when you
God
get to
bless
the
you.
end of your application, when you get to the end of your application, you do have the option to do so. Should you have any issues, please email Gebabetswe on online at. I believe the email address is in the inbox. However, we will be sending a post mailer to everyone with the recording of the session as well as the details after the session.
Okay, thank you. Last one. I did the business risk management course at UCT. So I wanted to get an idea. The risk management from Stellenbosch and the business risk management from UCT is similar or is a bit different? Thank you.
I'm not sure if Vanessa or Tharisha, you want to take this one. I don't have much context on that program. So I'm not in a position to respond in comparison to, but every institution always brings its own flavor to the programs that they design.
Yeah, I'm not of any help here either. I'm not familiar with that program at all, but I can find out for you.
Yeah, same.
All right. All right. So I think that will be research on your part, just to check what the differences are before you enroll. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We've gone over time slightly. Thank you very much for everyone's patience. On your screen is contact details for Vanessa Thowell. If you've got any risk management related queries or questions, you're more than welcome to scan the QR code on the screen. It'll take you straight to her LinkedIn profile. But other than that, should you want to enroll onto the program, which will have a more structured time with Vanessa on the program, please contact us on the contact details on the screen. So Gebabetswe, who's our business developer at online at, and then for those of you who are inquiring for your organizations or for your teams, you're more than welcome to contact me directly. Thank you very much. And from us and the SBS Ed team, please enjoy the rest of your day as well as your week.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.